What's going on, guys? I've got a 2009 Chevy Aveo. It's got the 1.6 liter Ecotec engine, and I'm going to be replacing the thermostat today. I'm doing this because it's got a stored code P0128, which means that the coolant temperature is not getting hot enough. So most likely the thermostat's stuck open. So in order to do this, you're going to need a new thermostat, which I've got here. Some sort of drain pan under the car to catch the coolant. You will need a Torx, a tin, an E10 millimeter, and a flathead screwdriver. So the first step, I'm going to start by disconnecting the temperature sensor on the top. And in order to do that, you just squeeze the connector there. Gonna get that out of the way. I think I'm gonna go ahead and remove this, I guess that's a cam position sensor. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect that as well in order for me to get to the sensor just a little bit better. There we go. Now with the electrical stuff out of the way, I'm going to loosen this clamp. You may have a spring style clamp on here. I do this first because once I unbolt the thermostat, it'll be hard to separate the hose from it. And a bunch of coolant's gonna come out, which is what my drain pan's for. So now we loosen the 4 bolts that secure the thermostat to the plastic housing. When you loosen these, you want to push the tool into the head to prevent it from stripping. All right, got everything loosened. I'm going to pull the bottom bolts out first. I believe this part's been replaced before. Definitely doesn't look factory. In fact, it says Motor Rad on the top, which is the same brand of thermostat that I'm installing. Hopefully this new thermostat proves to hold up a little longer. So yeah, like I said, I'm doing this because of the P0128 code. Now, just because you have that code doesn't mean you should replace your thermostat. The first thing you should do if you see that is check your coolant level. If your coolant is super low, to the point where none of the coolant's even reaching the temperature sensor, it can make it read low, even though it's actually too hot. So there we go, we've got the final bolt out. Now in order to separate this, I'm just gonna grab it and yank straight out. Make sure the thermostat comes out with it. That's easy enough. Mounting surface looks good. Now from here, it's basically just the opposite of everything I've filmed so far. Got the bolts all tightened up. So now I'm gonna reinstall all the electrical stuff. Alright, now once I tighten this down, I can top off the coolant. I'm going to let it run a while with the cap off. Generally what I do when I replace thermostats is I run them with the radiator cap off until I have the heat on the inside of the vehicle, and when I actually feel heat coming out of the vents, that's telling me that the thermostat's most likely opened. Continuously top off the fluid. Some cars have special bleeders that you have to open up. This is not one of those cars. But I've got a 50-50 mix. Dang it. got a 50-50 mix of coolant and distilled water. Hey, can you start this for me? Yeah. Thanks. No, leave it running. Might be due for a flush. Yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna let it run for a while, try to get the air bubbles out before I take it on a test drive, and use the scan tool to make sure that the coolant temperature gets to where it needs to be. But yeah, let me know down in the comments if you have any questions.